Welcome back to the Distressed Princess. I'm Rhonda. In today's video, I'm sharing some really cute ideas for spring decor that is thrifted items or Dollar Tree items. The first DIY is a two-way project, and I'm starting with this picture frame that I thrifted for only $2 at a thrift store, and I'm also going to use some of these wooden planks from the Dollar Tree. If you're going to make this at home, you can use just a regular picture frame, but I liked the frame on this art piece. So I'm removing the hardware from the frame, and then I'm going to remove the brown paper backing. Next, remove any staples or hardware that is to keep the picture inside. Then remove the picture and the glass. You should be left with nothing but the frame, and now you can paint it. And I'm using Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. While the picture frame is drying, then you need to paint your planks that will be going inside. So this is going to be a tray or some wall art. You'll see the difference once we put it together. But I measured out on the back of my frame how many planks it would take to cover the back. I think it really was just a stroke of luck that it happened to be that these 4 planks fit perfectly, but if they didn't, then I was prepared to cut one of them down to fit. So measure and cut your planks if needed. Once the front side of your frame is dry, flip it and paint the back. And you'll also need to paint both sides of your planks as well. Now line up your planks, and then you're ready to glue the frame onto the planks. Or you could do it the other way around and glue the planks onto the frame, but I found this I thought would be easier. So I'm using wood glue to glue them down, and I'm going to spread it all along the back side of this frame. And I've learned to smear it around with my finger so it's not just in this beady line, and that helps it from squeezing out from underneath of your project, and I think just works a lot better. Then press the frame down firmly on top of the planks. While the wood glue is setting, we'll work on the next part, which is the little decoration that's going in the middle. You could put anything, but I am using this bunny rabbit that I got from the Dollar Tree. And these wooden ones like this are kind of in rough shape, so they needed sanded a little bit. Now paint the bunny with white chalk paint, and again I'm using the Waverly in Snow White. And next I'm going to give the bunny a design, and this is a stencil that I purchased at Walmart. It's a folk art stencil. It's one of those screen stencils, so it's a lot like some more expensive stencils. I don't want to name names, but you can get these types of things cheaper at hobby stores and even Walmart. So I'm going to use this buffalo check one, or plaid, I'm not sure which you would call it, but it's really simple. You just lay the stencil down on your project. So in this case, there is a raised part of this bunny, and so it's going to come in contact with the raised part of the bunny, and so the bunny is going to have a white outline and then this plaid design in the middle. And I'm using Waverly chalk paint in the color Celery. It's best to use chalk paint with these kinds of stencils, and you can apply it with a stencil brush or a squeegee, and I couldn't find my squeegee, so I'm using a stencil brush. Now you just offload a lot of that paint before you touch the stencil with the brush, and then do swirling motions is what I did. I actually did some side to side and up, and I just went kind of every direction because I was not sure how this was actually going to work using a stencil brush. I've never used one with this kind of stencil before, so I was just experimenting, but it worked. So whatever I did, I guess I did okay. And while the paint is still wet, just peel the stencil back away. I like this stencil a lot. It didn't move the whole time. It has a sticky back, so it adhered well to the bunny, and I had no bleed through, and I'm really happy with the results. Now this is why I'm calling this a two-way project. My wood glue has set, so I can move it around without things falling off, but it could be used as a tray. So, and I'm going to show you about these bottles. That's a DIY later in this video. but it's a really cute tray. You could stop right there. You could add some little drawer pulls or handles for the sides or some little pieces of leather, and I think that would be really, really cute. But I already had a picture in my mind of decoration I wanted to make kind of for Easter, so that's why I made the bunny, and it's going to be some wall art. I used the same super glue wood glue. You get this at the Dollar Tree, by the way. It is my favorite wood glue. It works just as well as Gorilla Wood glue and all the others I've tried. And I'm using the smearing on the back technique, and I'm going to put it down in the center of my frame. Once everything has dried and the glue is set, which usually I give my wood glue at least an hour before I start moving it around. It takes 24 hours to cure completely, but you should be safe in moving and working with your project within an hour. So I measured the back and put the hanger back in place in the center. So whether you keep this a tray or turn it into a piece of Easter decor, I think it's adorable either way. Today's video is sponsored by Temu. So Temu sent me this large box of products that I am to share with you and review. And for transparency purposes, I just want to let you know that although they sent me these products for free, I would shop there anyway because they are amazing deals and I really love the products. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing of all these awesome items. Some of them I requested that they send me, and some of them they just sent. So I'll let you know which ones I actually picked and which ones they just sent. So I actually picked this basket wall hanger. I think it's good quality and really cute. I also picked this travel toothbrush holder. I actually got one for me, one for my husband. This is a green one for him, and I just thought that they would be really cute to take with us when we travel. I picked this bunch of faux peonies. I think they're very realistic and a very high quality bunch of artificial flowers. This one I didn't pick, they just sent, but it's these little crochet crafty flowers, which I could see myself crafting with. I picked out this wireless charger for my phone. It also has a night light and a place to charge your earbuds, which I will show you how it all works later. Here's my pretty pink travel toothbrush holder. I didn't pick this one, but they sent me a nice gift bag. I did pick this out. It's a stackable lunch box. It's a little on the small side, but still very handy, I think. Not my pick, but they sent me some Valentine's decorations. And this thing I picked out for the cats. You put it on a corner, like the leg of a desk or something, and they can scratch themselves. I didn't pick these, but they are pretty cool. It is a garland of light up roses, pink and white. This was one of my picks. It's one of those lint roller fur getter things, and it's great. I didn't pick this one, but they sent me a silicone mold. It is a rose on the inside, so that could be cool. I was really excited for this one. It was my pick. It is a Bluetooth speaker. It comes in these different colors, so I picked a pink one. I was really excited for this one too. This is one of my picks. It is spoons that I'm going to use for my coffee in the morning. Here's another gadget that I picked, and the box was just a little banged up, but the inside was okay. I picked this juice blender. And here is a silicone mold that they sent me. Not a pick, but still nice. Another thing that wasn't a pick of mine, but nice, stickers. And the last thing I have already opened up and gave to the cats to play with because it is a cat tunnel and they love it. I've tried all the electronics for you so you know they work well. And I'm giving the online store Temu 2 thumbs up. I think that they have some really cute items, some really handy gadgets at some really awesome prices. Right now on Temu.com, they're having a massive spring site-wide sale up to 90% off. A lot of great items. Plus, if you enter the discount code CARD239 at checkout, you'll get 30% off your order, and they always have free shipping. All the items you saw in today's video are linked in my description box below, along with a link to shop. Thanks to Temu for sponsoring today's video, and now back to the DIYs. The next DIY is one of those simpler the better DIYs, and I gathered up these antique bottles, and they were only about $2 a piece at my antique store. I got some clear ones with the little measurements marked out on them, and I got some blue ones, and oh my gosh, how I love antique bottles. They're just cute as can be, just the way they are. They really don't need any adornment, but I'm going to dress them up anyway. I have this whole bag of scrapbooking papers that I've collected over the years, different kinds of ephemera, and so I'm going to pick out some of the floral ones to put onto these bottles like labels. I'm using my homemade Mod Podge, which is just watered down white school glue, but you could use store-bought Mod Podge to glue these little pieces onto the bottles. Here they are after drying all night, and I decided to add one more little embellishment, which is this little burlap ribbon that I got at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to hot glue little pieces of this just around the necks of the bottles. And I really wanted some fresh, real flowers to put in these bottles, but it's February and nowhere in my little small town could I buy any fresh flowers, and there's no wildflowers blooming yet either. So I had to go with artificial, so I picked the little tiniest ones I could find in my stash that looked like little wildflowers, and I put them in the bottles. The next spring DIY takes its inspiration from a speckled egg. So you're going to need a mason jar. It doesn't have to say ball on it or anything because that's going to get covered up anyway. And then you'll need some blue chalk paint, which I have this crystal blue, but it's just so very pale blue that it barely even shows up as blue. So I'm going to add a little bit of this Caribbean to it to make it a little more that you can tell that it's blue. Then paint the whole outside of your jar with a couple of coats of that chalk paint. Now for the speckles, this gets a little messy. You're going to need some brown antique wax. I think it works better than brown paint because it's easier to fling off of a toothbrush. So you'll need an old toothbrush you don't plan on using again on your teeth, and dip it in the antique wax just a little bit. You don't want it dripping at all. And then run your thumbnail or your fingernail through the bristles so that it sprays those speckles all over your jar.
Don't you eat them flowers. Yachty, Yachty. No. Don't you eat them flowers.
At the top of the mason jar, I'm going to wrap some jute strings, so I'll use hot glue to keep it in place while I wrap and wrap all the way to the top. I added some baby's breath from the Dollar Tree, and now I'm going to add this old antique greeting card that is in another language. I wouldn't even want to guess, is it German? But I'm going to add that to the front, and I'm going to use some hot glue to do that. And I just love that old antique greeting card on the front of this. It gives it so much character. Take a look at this gorgeous floral arrangement that I found at Goodwill for only $7. And I think the sticker on the bottom said it was $34 at its original store it was sold in. The flowers were still in excellent shape. Its only problem was its little watery liquid, whatever, had yellowed. So I'm going to keep this all in its original vase, but I'm going to set it down inside of something else to hide the yellowed watery thing. And here's the thing that I'm going to set it down inside of. It's a bucket that I got at a junk store for $2. See, that's the running thing. I paid about $2 for everything. But I'm going to paint this bucket up because the sunflowers isn't my thing. It doesn't really go with the floral arrangement. So I'm going to paint it up with some white chalk paint. And for the front of the bucket, I'm going to use another old foreign greeting card, and these are so charming. If you run across these in your antique stores, grab them up because they're so neat to decorate with. And on this one, I actually used double-sided tape so I could go all the way around the whole edge without hot glue squirting out the edge. Then I added the flowers, and I had a hard time deciding which side of this arrangement to display because one side had a big, pretty purple flower, but on the other side was some really pretty pink roses. So it was really hard decision. So let me know in the comments, which side would you display? Now let's take a look back at all our spring DIYs today. Thanks again to Temu for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check the links in my description box so that you can shop. And thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!